Welcome to the LANCave, where we're living as nerds, talking gaming. I'm Patrick, joined by Owen.
Hello.
We're talking gaming. We're probably going to talk about Zelda. We're probably going to talk about a lot of things. Just enjoy the ride. And if there's something you want us to talk about, tell us in the comments, because we'll probably talk about it if you tell us to talk about it. Owen, how was your week? Have you been playing any fun games? What have you been doing?
So, unfortunately, I haven't got to check out Link's Awakening yet. Is my picture just awful to you?
Yeah, you got a little pixelated there.
That's lame.
Yeah. Link's Awakening is so adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing this. I just beat the Dream Shrine, so I'm three.
Cool.
Like I've gotten, what is it? Three of the 7 instruments, if I'm not mistaken. Rocking it out. So you haven't been able to pick it up, or you've picked it up. You just haven't been able to play it, right?
No, yeah, I literally, I started the game, I woke up, I left the house, and then my son cried, and I have not been back since. So, it looked great from the 2 minutes that I played.
Yeah, it's just as adorable as I'd hoped. It's old school, but they've made a lot of improvements. I didn't play the original, but playing games like it and seeing people discussing how this differs from the original made me really appreciate it. Being able to, your sword and shield are always equipped as opposed to having to equip them. In the original game, you had to equip them and then toggle back and forth. So it's nice to be able to have sword and shield always ready and then 2 other items, ready to go. It's pretty awesome.
But I want you to think about that just because you'd never played the game before. Imagine playing this game and literally it was on the Game Boy. So there's 2 buttons. There's A and B, and you literally have to program everything and switch out everything between those 2 buttons. Now there's a whole lot of quality of life. Now there's 4 plus 4 more buttons.
Yep.
Plus a D-pad maybe, depending on if they utilize that or not.
I've not seen it used. I tried to use it. It didn't make any movement, so I was just using the analog stick. But I'm enjoying it. Definitely.
So since I haven't really been able to sit there, I'm still trophy hunting Final Fantasy VIII, but I've talked about that enough. I did, though, start checking out Apple Arcade. I've just been downloading anything that I see that's good looking on Twitter, and I started with Sayonara Wild Hearts. I've already finished that. It's this trippy, side-scrolling, touchscreen game. That is one thing that I'm disappointed in so far, is I've only played one controller-supported game, and that was Oceanhorn 2. But that said, not everything has to be controller supported. Grindstone is a game that I actually think that you might like if you like those. It's not Tetris, but it's a grid type thing where you have to work your way through that kind of a puzzle.
It's almost like a Bejeweled. Or...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Bejeweled. I was like, not Tetris, but Bejeweled. Sega's answer to Tetris. Yeah. So it's like that. The thing that's still super impressive about it, so it's the $4.99 a month, which is already not terrible, but it's so refreshing to go into mobile games. No ads. You just open the game and you play the game. That's it.
It's so strange. Strange.
It downloads like normal. You download it onto your phone. So it's still just a part of the arcade, and it's I've tried 3 or 4 or 5 games now. Sayonara Wild Hearts is definitely worth playing, and they actually did put that on Switch and PS4, so if you're not a mobile gamer, you can still check that out.
Yeah.
I have it, but I haven't got to play it yet, and that's Super Cat Quest 2, or Cat Quest 2, I don't know if there's actually a Super on it, but that's an action RPG that was made pretty famous. I think the first Cat Quest is on Switch and PS4. Not bad for $5. I'm still in the free trial for a month.
Yep.
Getting my money's worth. We'll see if I stick with it, but I think it's nice to be able to, if I want a few minutes just to kind of relax, and I don't it's even less than pulling out my Switch or anything, because I'm already looking at my phone anyway. I just play a game for a few minutes.
Yeah. I think it's a great option, like we've talked about for families, and it's a great option for people who are on a budget and just go, you know what, that's the money that I'm going to spend on this. I'm not spending any more. I've got access to games. I'm good to go. So I think it also shows that there's still value in the games. It's the same thing the movie industry went through with Netflix, where they're like, oh, this devalues our movies. It's like, no, more people get to watch your movies, and it's more money for you in the long run. So it's arguably more money, but more people get to view it, which means more possible sequels and what have you. So it's all good stuff.
Because if you think about it, like if even like if you think about how many iPhone users there are, or just Apple users in general, because the iPad's also included, you're talking about not six figure. I was going to say six figures, but millions. I was going to say like a couple 100 million potential users out there. $5 a month, like that's a lot of money that could possibly go around. Or what I'm guessing is that Apple just is like, here's a flat fee, keep your game on arcade for X amount of time, and do it that way. I don't know for sure, but that's how I would think they would do it. Yeah,
I think that I'm assuming that the developers still get to pick whether or not they're on these type of platforms, whether or not they're going to be featured. I would assume. As opposed to Epic, because I say assume, but Epic has proven that we can be very wrong with that, where they start discounting games without telling the developers that they're going to be doing it. But it's a Brave New World. Speaking of Brave New World, we just saw right as we were about to start streaming, Xbox game streaming is going into preview. So go sign up for that. So fresh and so clean that I don't even have it in front of me. You know what? I'll just do it this way.
You can click that link. Yeah. So for those who don't know about xCloud, this is Microsoft's kind of Google Stadia, where they have a similar thing. The idea is that you can string to your mobile devices, stream Xbox games. But the cool thing about it's already cool, by the way, everybody who knows I'm a day one Stadia supporter, it's already cool. But Sony is actually looking to participate with xCloud as well. So in future gens, Sony might be using this xCloud technology similarly, which means that you get like two giant companies working together. But you can sign up for the preview. Unfortunately, I will not be able to participate because you have to have an Android device. So if you go to that website and you have Android, you can sign up and potentially beta test. I think it was Gears, Sea of Thieves, and I think there was one other title that I saw, Halo 5.
That's not a bad lineup.
Yeah, so
that's the latest Gears, right?
It's the latest Gears, yeah.
Nice.
I would absolutely participate, but I do not use Android, so check it out.
I do, so I'll probably check it out then.
Absolutely should.
Yeah, and now we go into what's going to sound like a fanboy podcast, because that's the only news that's not Sony that we have for you. So anyone who hates on the PlayStation, I'm sorry, that's what we're basically going to be talking about the rest of the show, so eat it.
Just eat it. Just eat it.
Eat it.
Eat it.
Fix that.
Just be happy that I'm not showing you the Final Fantasy VII box art that came out.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, it looked beautiful, by the way. I'm sorry for my little technical.
Nice shot for shot there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks gorgeous. That game continues to look beautiful, and I think it's arguably, number one or number two on my list, and probably the same on yours for video games.
The only thing that would be higher would be Breath of the Wild 2, but that has no date on it. That has no that doesn't even have a window on it. So for right now, 7 Remake is number one, but the second that they give me any type of date on Breath of the Wild 2, then it's just going to shove down there in a second place.
Yeah. Let's start off talking about a little bit of PlayStation news, because we got a couple different things in regards to the new PlayStation. We'll knock these out real quick before we go into what's probably the biggest story. PlayStation, essentially their new power saving mode, which the standby mode has been great on PlayStation, but this new power saving mode for PlayStation is even better, which makes me very happy. Not only because you don't have to pay as much on your power bill, but also, you know, it's greener, which is always nice. And they said, this was in an interview. Who was the interview with?
I mean, they announced it on a blog post.
Yeah, this is a blog post
on PlayStation blog.
That's right. Sorry, you're saying, I'm very pleased to announce the next generation of PlayStation console will include the possibility to suspend gameplay with much lower power consumption than PS4. We estimate can be achieved around 0.5 watts. If just 1 million users enable this feature, it would save the equivalent of the average electricity of 1,000 U.S. homes. That's pretty amazing. Little tiny bits help so much. It's amazing.
I mean, yeah, I think honestly, I don't know. It's a thing this week. You probably we're not going to go into any of that other news, but there's a thing going on this week in terms of things about the planet and so on. And so the PlayStation decided to put that in there, and they're calling it "Playing for the Planet" initiative. I think it's a little. Showboaty's not the right word, but I think it's a little like, hey, look, we're trying. The fact of the matter is if nobody enabled power saving and they just turned their PlayStation off, that's going to save even more power. But they're like, hey, and I know that you play your PlayStation through your iPad, so you're not going to turn off your PlayStation. No. You want those automatic updates because we are not troglodytes.
Because when you're in the grocery store and a new game comes out and you're like, oh yeah, that came out, or, you know, pre-download the game without, you know, thinking about it, you want that to happen without you being active, so then it's just ready for you when you're ready to play.
That's literally happened. I've literally been in the grocery store, like at Kroger, and been like, oh yeah, that game came out. Boop, boop, boop. Download the PS4.
Yep.
Just there. We're waiting for me when I get home. So yeah, it's cool that they're doing this. At the same time, like I don't know how big of a deal it is, but in terms of, you know, trying to save the planet and all that stuff, good job trying to.
Yeah, I mean, either way,
make an attempt.
Whatever side of the aisle, whatever you want. I mean, I'm not thinking of it as a political thing. I think it's a good gesture. I think it's great in regards to hardware and software. That's great in regards to efficiency, and you don't pay as much in your power bill, which is always nice.
Yeah, I will say if it reduces wear and tear, I'm down on that. Yeah. Like if it because I do notice, like, leaving my PlayStation on all the time, like even my Pro, it doesn't chug or anything, but it definitely isn't as snappy as it was as the day I bought it. And I would attribute to some of that to the like always on feature, because I literally do never like shut it all the way down unless like it freezes or something.
Yeah, same with my my PC, which I'm getting. I'm going to be changing that because now that my NAS storage is going to be hooked up, I'll be able to do my Plex off of NAS, so I'll be able to shut this thing down when I'm not using it, which I'll be happy about because it's decent power consumption, I think. Yeah. In regards, speaking of PlayStation, because we're just talking about PlayStation, we did get a rumor. I want to preface it by saying a rumor that there is going to be a PlayStation 5 Pro that's going to launch along with the PlayStation 5. This is similar to what Xbox was originally planning on doing, and then they've basically scrapped. I don't know how much you followed of that. But the next Xbox was originally going to be, there's essentially going to be multiple tiers, and they've decided to not have the lesser tier. They're still going to have like a discless thing going on, but there were going to be 3, now there's going to be 2 Xbox. So people who were saying, oh, they're not going to come out with 2 PlayStations, Xbox is already coming out with 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because Xbox has Scarlet and Anaconda.
Did they? I know that they've skipped one. It may have been another iteration though.
It could have been. I think this is fine. The only problem that I have with it is that the difference on like the even in this gen, if you think about the comparison, so we had the Xbox One and we had the PlayStation 4, and then we had the Xbox One S, which is a dope piece of hardware, great piece of hardware, introducing like the 4K. Same thing with PS4 Pro. Like, what's really the difference going to be? You can't give me a different processor. You could give me a bigger hard drive. Like, what kind of future proofing like am I doing by spending more, even though we know I'm going to spend more because I'm going to buy the better PlayStation? But like, what hardware differences can you do feasibly is the weird thing behind releasing something like this. Outside, I understand that Xbox was already going to do it, but if they're doing a discless and then a hardcore disc version like that's a total difference. Is PlayStation going to do something similar? Is it going to be digital only?
I'd like to see that. I'd like the option. I'd like that cheaper option. Just taking out the disc drive saves quite a bit of money, as we've seen when it comes to like the Switch Lite. Taking out the dock, not just the dock, but taking out some of the detachable gyro stuff, saved a lot of money. So it allows them to trim that thing down even more.
$100.
Yeah. So you could trim off $100, $150 on some of the new PlayStation and Xbox to go discless. I think it's a good idea to do that. There's a lot of people who will go all digital. I'm not at that point, but at the same time, I may get a second one if it's like, oh, it's on sale for Black Friday for, half off or whatever it is. I may go grab one to have a second one. I mean, why not?
I'm really close. So Switch is pretty much all digital. The only thing physical that I want to buy in the near future at all is if I can get my hands on whatever special edition Breath of the Wild 2 comes out as. But even with Link's Awakening, since they didn't offer us that Steelbook in the States, got that digitally. PlayStation, the only things not digital that I'm buying now are the exclusives, and even Days Gone I bought that digital.
Yeah.
I'm right on the cusp of just saying screw it.
Yeah, we're almost there. We're almost at that point. I'm still a little old school. I like having not all physical copies. I'm not like Chris, who buys everything physical, but there's a lot.
It's a beautiful shelf, though.
It is beautiful. It's amazing. It's amazing stuff. So moving on, we did have the PlayStation State of Play, which I thought I had that queued up here, but I don't. PlayStation State of Play was today. So the biggest story of that, which we'll just go ahead and talk about, is The Last of Us 2. We got a release date. We got an amazing trailer, some beautiful story.
Juicy.
Very juicy. Starting off with them talking about the kiss that we saw in the previous trailer. I guess the trailer before, whatever, last E3. I will say that I'm worried this trailer is giving away too much. I hope that what we're seeing, because it's basically alluding to an event. I guess we're talking about this. We're not spoiling the game, but if you've watched the trailer, we're gonna spoil what's in the trailer. Not speculating, but it's alluded.
I'm gonna speculate a little.
Okay, well, it's alluded to. What was her name? It starts with a D.
I don't remember. Her girlfriend.
I'm gonna call her Dana. Her girlfriend, whatever.
Sure.
Dana Scully. So Dana gets either lost or dies or something because she's calling out for her there. And we don't know exactly what happens, but then she's back at the home base, and sorry, this is right about where I'm kind of leading up to, and basically saying, I got to finish this. I got to, and it's essentially a revenge kind of story. So this is very different than the first game, because you have a very aggressive story as opposed to more defensive, just stay alive. So it's very interesting to me.
Yeah, I think that, again, I'm going to analyze a little bit just because this trailer I don't think it showed too much, but I think it showed how different the game can be.
Yes.
So this game has been revealed to be 2 discs, and that's 2 Blu-ray discs, man. So who knows how much of that is cinematics, but that tells me that we got a fat game a brewing. The Last of Us was somewhere around 10 to 15 hours with 2 discs. Unless literally it's all cinematics, I expect it to be a longer game. So there's the beginning, and they have that town looking thing where it has a wall, there's a gate, that it seems like they have jobs, and there's patrols. So I see it being a time skip situation where the first half of the game kind of is in that town. It's a good shot. And then
that's just made me cry. Honestly, I got emotional. Right there. But sorry, go ahead. You were talking about the different parts of town.
And so I think that that's where it's going to be a different game. I don't know if it's going to be open worldy, because I don't feel like that. I don't feel like they would go that far, but I feel like there might be some open world elements in this first part of the game.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I was going to say. I don't think that they want to go full open world. It takes away what we love about The Last of Us, which is the storytelling. the more you go into open world, the more freedom that you give, the less control you can have over the narrative. I'm sorry, but that's just how it comes from a writing perspective, from a gameplay, from a narrative perspective. So I hope that they rein that in to an extent. They allow a little bit open world, maybe some open world in regards to maybe some side quest kind of stuff. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going to happen with it, but it looks gorgeous, and I do like that they made her look more like Ashley Johnson as opposed to Ellen Page.
Yeah.
Because in the first one, she's
So the real interesting part is like the end reveal. There we get Joel, and if you look at the scene enough times, like I did, you wonder if they cut two different scenes together there. It's really like, if you look, if you're bored and you want to go watch it and look how there's one background behind her and it's kind of like different behind him. So like, are they doing some kind of weird twist there?
Movie trailers.
Yeah. So like, anybody who's seen this, don't assume right away that like, he's for sure there, or like, I feel like there's like a little bait and switch going on with that. But if just in case you somehow have lived under a rock and have never played The Last of Us, you also get that in October.
Yes. Yeah. I'm very happy. The PlayStation lineup also having the MLB
the show.
I'll probably try it.
I mean, you're going to at least add it to your card and add it to your account.
I'm definitely going to have it in my account. I'll probably try it out. But having The Last of Us on there, I thought I'd queued up the trailer for it, but that's fine. Having The Last of Us, I already had it, but now I have it digitally, which is wonderful.
That's the real addition. I thought it was really I thought it was almost comical that they showed the show, but then they didn't show the Last of Us trailer, and that's because they were about to show the Last of Us true trailer, so they don't want you being like, hey, look how, The Last of Us still looks gorgeous.
It does.
It looks great, and the remastered version looks great, but you can't go from like that to what those visuals that you saw in The Last of Us 2, because they look good.
Yeah. We're getting to the point where games, I won't go on a tangent about it, but like the Frozen 2 trailer just came out yesterday.
Boring.
New Frozen 2 trailer. But like the anime, that's animated, whatever, but like the graphics look better. Not stylist. I'm not talking about stylistically. The Last of Us 2 looks better than any animated films that are coming out at all. Like, just period. Like, it doesn't matter, like, Disney or whoever. It's to the point that if you as they've speculated for a long time, as technology gets better, could you replace actors in movies? I don't think you'd be able to replace actors. I don't think you want to, but I think doing a motion capture like this, like if you did a Final Fantasy movie, like with that was animated but with motion captured like actors like this, come on, it'd be
sorry.
amazing.
I just got an image of Spirits Within remake.
No, yeah, I'm thinking,
doing like a remake of Spirits Within.
Yeah, but imagine it being good, like really, really good. That's what I'm talking about.
No, I guess it could be.
I'm saying like.
Advent Children's not bad. It's kind of convoluted.
Yeah.
But
I'm just thinking about like the amount of storytelling, and it also, if you have decent graphics and you can do more epic battles and things that would cost ridiculous amounts of money to do with real sets. As much as I love practical effects, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it opens the world. It opens up a world of possibilities.
Well, and you've already seen a lot of that stuff. They've already are now starting to show in movies that age doesn't matter. You can make any old guy or gal look considerably younger. You have that Will Smith movie coming out that looks terrible.
Gemini
looks
Man.
Awful, but it's Will Smith fighting Will Smith, and you can see what they've done in terms of putting that whatever digital young Will face that they have on there.
Yeah.
It's good.
That just came out. I just realized that just came out.
I didn't realize it was already out.
Yeah, it just came out. It's Ang Lee, who he doesn't do bad movies. I'll watch it. I'm probably not going to see it in the theater, but I'll watch it. It looks like some great action, and seeing Will Smith fight Will Smith, it's going to be pretty good.
What's it called?
Gemini Man.
Gemini Man does not have a tomato meter yet.
It doesn't.
No. That doesn't come out till October. Okay. I was about to say I'll place a bet with you on the tomato meter of this movie.
I'm sorry. I was like scrolling through like some stuff and it was showing showtimes and I didn't realize the date. Sorry, I thought they were going to show. They were talking about like movies that were coming out this week or coming out later. So
I'm gonna say 68.
60. Okay. You know, I'm not.
Still technically fresh.
I can't argue that though. Like, if I go up or down, it would just be to bet.
Yeah.
Like just for the money. So I'm gonna say, even though I want to see it, I'm gonna say 66.
Oh, okay.
66, because I think that there's a lot of reviewers that'll be like, this isn't that great, but people will like it. I mean, what's the Expendables at in Rotten Tomatoes?
I'm gonna make a point to check. I'm gonna make a note to check on October 11th what Gemini Man is scored at.
You should. So Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, so again, Expendables tomato meter is 42%. I'm saying it's gonna be better than the Expendables.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll probably enjoy the Expendables more, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, it's just the throwback of having all those, great action heroes and together. Yeah, I mean,
made enough money to make 3 of them. So.
That's true. That's true. That's so true. Okay. So we also have the State of Play, by the way, which, I mean, The Last of Us was the last thing from there. But running through what we did do with what they did show with State of Play, we got Humanity, which I don't understand what you're trying to do with it. I don't know if it's. I feel like it might be some type of puzzle game that uses massive amounts of people as fodder. Because that's what this looks like. It looks like you just throw them in.
At one point, they're running around and they're like doing kind of different patterns and everything, and then they start shooting at each other and throwing things at each other, and so
those are totally lightsabers, dude. Those are totally lightsabers.
There becomes some kind of weird combat thing going on. There's this thing where they're just throwing them over the gate to just get shot at. So I'm like. And then this was the first thing that they showed, and didn't go into anything further. There's no talking during this. There's no this doesn't feel like gameplay. They just said Humanity 2020. No idea what this game is. Made zero sense, and this was this was telling of how minus the Last of Us 2 trailer, which is what everybody showed up for. This was kind of telling of this State of Play.
Yeah, it was kind of weak sauce. We also got Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which I would say was the other I wouldn't even say high point. If it was a high point, it was interesting.
It wasn't a low point.
It wasn't a low point. There were some low points. This was not a low point. It was interesting. I mean, we got some stuff on the story. I'm not even going to be able to regurgitate it.
No.
It is a little bit quasi cliche for these, but it was enough to be like, oh, there's some some stuff going on, and here's
if
the
there's
story.
a campaign, I will play it.
I assume. I mean, why would you add this much stuff and not have a campaign?
I don't know. Why is Call of Duty Call of Duty?
That's a good point.
But I play pretty much every single Call of Duty campaign that has one. Anyway, I enjoy them. You can't as much hate as Call of Duty sometimes deserves. It still has some of the best gun gameplay in gaming.
Yeah.
There's a reason it's so successful. So the campaigns are always fun. They're always 5 to 10 hours. So. Yeah. I was down, and plus, again, if you look at the graphics on this,
amazing.
That was definitely in engine.
Yeah,
it looked awesome.
Yeah, and that's PlayStation 4. Yeah. I mean, PlayStation 5 is going to be insane.
So
and the fact that we're getting, I know PlayStation's not as much on it, but the fact that the gaming is moving not only towards great graphics, but also being cloud-based is just a beautiful thing where we're kind of unshackling what we thought of as gaming. We're still getting legitimate games, but we're being able to play it in different ways and being able to play with more freedom, which is just amazing. So I can't wait.
At some point, we need to start adding sound, get a sound bar, so that way whenever we're talking about freedom, then we can play Mel Gibson saying freedom.
I honestly thought about doing that because one of the podcasts I listen to is Your Mama's House.
Yeah,
they do that on there, and a couple other ones. But
Let us know if you'd like to goof it up a little bit and add, because I definitely, every once in a while, there's just a drop where I'm just like, I just want to hit a button that produces the sound that went perfectly with that moment.
Yep. No, I think that'd be fun. I may queue up some soundboards to do that. And if you can pipe through into Google Hangouts, if you can pipe yours in there,
part. Yeah.
if you then, if that's possible, that'd be really cool. But anyways, we'll work on that. We'll get even more weird stuff for you. We got a new game from the creator of Katamari Damacy, whatever. And it's interesting, and I don't know what's going on here, but it's trippy. You said, what did you say, trippy and cute?
I said goofy, chill, and trippy.
Yeah, I agree. His games have been very inventive, so
I'm interested to say that. Like it's so weird looking. I don't know what you're doing. Like, is it like mild platforming? Is it just like it seems like there's like a co-op aspect to it. I don't get it at all, but unlike Humanity, because of the art style and everything, I'm a lot more intrigued to like what you're doing. Like, is it a minor puzzle game? Like,
it almost seems like there's some type of quest elements like RPGs where you're doing like trading quests or different things, because it seems like you're going to help out people, and I don't even know. I mean, it looks amazing. It looks trippy. In any way, this is going to be a very unique situation. The fact that you can do co-op is really cool to me. Yeah. I didn't expect that when it flashed on the screen. I was like, whoa.
Oh, by the way, that comes out in Call of Duty comes out in October. This comes out in December.
Okay. Not bad.
I made sure to put all the dates down. So.
Yeah. We also got Arise, a simple story. This, I was like, yes.
Looks great.
Immediately, I was like, yes, I will play this. It's...
You like my caption?
I like your caption. Sorry, I was like laughing, looking like Santa's Journey over here. Yeah, it definitely reminds me of Journey in a very good way. But immediately, I'm like, this is interesting. They didn't show much, but what they showed intrigued me. So
yeah, it starts off with what I assume is a Viking funeral.
And he's
he wasn't sent off in a boat, but he was burned anyway. So if it's not Viking, it's somebody that has like a similar thing, and he wakes up in this other world. The only reason I said it looks like Santa's Journey. It definitely total Journey vibes. Like this right here, this is a Journey vibe so bad. But and then this guy, for those of you who aren't watching, like he just has this giant white Santa beard, and he's a big plumply fellow. I'm buying it. It's for sure. But I like it. The platforming looks great. It looks like it has some like minor puzzle solving. Again, even in this art style, like it looks so good.
I think that choosing this art style, similar to what happened with Breath of the Wild, you choose this art style partially for tone and partially because you can show you don't have to have as powerful of an engine in regards to developing or playing it. It really helps out in regards to development cycle.
So even more on the Santa Claus thing before we move on. So that part where there's all the black shapes that look like him with the glowing eyes. Yeah. It made me think of Santa Claus the movie, where like one Santa dies and the next person becomes Santa.
Oh, okay.
That Tim Allen movie, Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And so I saw that and I was like, oh, it's the Santa graveyard. It's all the past Santas.
They're going to help you. They're going to combine like Avatar, and you're going to have the combined powers. Oh, man.
Coming soon, by the way.
Judging by the Journey feel and everything, I almost felt like... and it looked like that was a funeral and this is another world. I almost feel like this is going to have some type of deeper meaning in regards to where you're going through, maybe the different phases of grief or something to that effect.
Sure.
I don't know. Either way, I'm intrigued. I'm also really intrigued about the LA Noire VR. So I love LA Noire.
Okay. You don't hear that very often.
I know, but playing it in VR, I don't know if it'll be that much. I'm sure it'll be different in some cases. But I loved LA Noire. I mean, I'm a sucker for the, for this time period stuff. But I love whodunits, and this game basically, getting to interrogate people, find clues, and try to figure out who the killer was, or I really enjoyed it. So I'll actually probably end up picking this up. I probably won't be picking up the other PSVR stuff that they flew through here.
Yeah, there was a montage. This is the part where I wouldn't have known what I was looking at unless they'd told me.
Yeah, I mean, there was one that I was like, this is kind of interesting, but I mean, you couldn't pay me to play that game.
The Brawler?
Yeah, I'm just like, it looks like just crazy repetitive. This one looks like it could be interesting. At first I was like, I don't know about it. And then you have the climbing, and then this kind of gunplay, slow-mo gunplay. That could be interesting. Stardust Odyssey could be interesting too, but I don't know how much depth there really is going to be in that. A lot of VR games tend to not have a lot of depth or replayability, which is why you tend to not mess with them.
Yeah, it came down I meant to get a PSVR so many times, and then there was just never really that game that was like, you need to play it. The closest I got was that the one with the mouse. That's on PlayStation, which name I can't think of right now.
Yeah.
Dang it. It was on a bunch of Game Awards stuff last year, but that's as close as I've ever gotten to being like, hey, I need a PSVR for that, but I still haven't managed to do it. But flight sims are always fun, so that space one, that would probably be the one I would play out of that list.
There's an Arkham VR that's really good. It's not on the list, but I'm just saying, that was one of my favorite ones. But we also got Medieval. Sorry, I've been calling it Medieval my entire life.
Yeah.
And they're pronouncing it Medieval. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I just thought I'd just pronounce it like Medieval. But anyways, demos...
I don't know anybody who calls it anything other than Medieval.
I know. That's how everyone that I've ever talked to on the planet, and then they started announcing it. They're like, Medieval. And I thought it was like some type of MIDI game. I'm like, no, it's Medieval. So getting the short-lived demo is available today. Comes out in October. The full game comes out in October. I liked this game back in the day. I don't know. I'm hopeful that this remaster, remake, whatever, is aged well and is going to be able to... I mean, I should probably basically just play the demo and figure that out.
Yeah, I think it's a new game. But honestly, the gameplay looked decent in there, and also the demo's free. And if you play the demo, you get an item that you can use in
get his
the game
head or something.
I think it was a helmet or something. You get that from the demo, and it carries over to the game if you buy it. It's a Halloween type game. Like if you're not playing some Luigi's Mansion, you could play some medieval or medieval. It's medieval. But yeah, the gameplay looks fun. It really depends on how much it costs. If it's like a $20 game, sure.
Yeah.
If it's a $40 game, no.
Yeah, I hope it's not 40. It is a full scale remake.
Okay.
I'm assuming that they've played with that a little bit and brought it up quality of life, similar to Link's Awakening that we were discussing. Sorry, I had that right over here, so I thought I was gesturing to it, and then I realized I moved it. But hopefully it has quality of life improvements like Link's Awakening has, because this game is so adorable. And I had to pick it up. I know I told you already, but he's adorable. He's so adorable. Yeah, it looks like the old Bank and Rass, Bank and Rass? The stop motion Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Like, it reminds me of that.
Oh, like the claymation?
Yeah. That's what the animation kind of reminds me of that. Anyways, back on track. We got Civ 6.
I was actually really surprised. I thought this was already on PS4.
I thought it was too.
Maybe it was Civ 5 that's on PS4. Probably, I'm not really sure.
But I have not played a Civilization game in forever, and this kind of made me want to play.
It was a great trailer.
It's a great trailer. Yeah, this is what a trailer should do.
They had like some comedic elements to it. The lady that like talks to you, and she's like, no, You are wasting art, whatever it was. It was just funny. Like, I didn't realize that they had added some comedy into Civilization before. Because the last time I played was like Civ 3.
Yeah, I think it was Civ 3 was the last one that I played. I mean, I played, what was this, like Civ 1 in computer. Actually, I think it was drafting. My drafting class had it on the computer, and I played it there. And I mean, it's a good series that I've not played because it's such, you know, it's a simulation, it's civilization simulation.
Well, it's a strategy game.
Yeah, but
that was why I always sucked at it, though. I played it as a kid, and I didn't understand strategy games. I still really don't. Like, anytime I've ever played Warcraft 3 or StarCraft, I'm awful.
Really?
I'm absolutely. I like playing it. It's fun to like build your town out and like fight the computer. But the second that I play an actual person, I just get wrecked.
Yeah. Well, it gets to the point similar like to playing like games like Magic the Gathering and stuff where it's not just like, oh, this is a play I can make. It's like, what's the most efficient thing you can do right now? Even if it doesn't seem like it should be the thing that you should do. I've watched people like do playthroughs of like StarCraft and StarCraft 2 and like talk about like why they're making decisions, and I'm like not realizing how much math they've done beforehand to realize like, oh no, this seems like ridiculous now, but in the long run it's going to help. And
if you ever have like an hour to kill, you can see the dude who speedruns Warcraft 3. During GDQ, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's absolutely ridiculous.
I know that people like speedrunning games. I know it's a thing. You know, sure, it's you know, it's bragging rights or whatever. But there's so many games that I'm like, why? Like, why would you speedrun that? That game.
Do you not watch GDQ?
No, I do. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, I don't. Like, I'm just saying, like, I would not want to do speed runs of games. Like, games that I would say, like, oh, I'm going to do this the really quick way and get through this area, I'm still enjoying a lot of it.
Well, they just enjoy it differently. I mean, that's the thing a lot of people don't understand about speed runs is that first of all, most of them have played the game through in some way or another where they know how the game works. Some people admit that they've never played the game casually. But it's just a different skill set. It's like breaking the game. That's why I like watching it. I can't do it because I don't have the time to put into like mastering those kind of skills. I do like Link to the Past Randomizer. That's a lot of fun. I beat that in 4 hours, and I was pretty proud of myself.
That's pretty cool. What's also pretty cool is Death Stranding. I know I'm excited about this. I'll say they showed a little bit of trailer. I am not going to sit here and say that I could recognize something that was new that wasn't shown before. I think this part was new, but I honestly don't know because so much of this has tripped me out. Sorry, that part's new because I meant when he was like hitting the ground and stuff.
That PlayStation 4 controller that he zaps into the game. That's new.
I'm sorry, but this right here. Why? Okay. I'm saying this as someone who wants to play Death Stranding, who loves Kojima stuff. Are there... I don't know how big of a demand there's going to be for this. I mean, other than it being a PS4 bundle, PS4 Pro bundle, like, are people clamoring for this? And this isn't necessarily like the swan song of this console. PS5's coming out...
2 and Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Exactly. And that being said, like, we're going into the next console generation. I know that they're still going to make money off of it, but from the consumer standpoint, from their standpoint, I get it. They're going to make money. From a consumer standpoint, I look at that and went, why? Like Final Fantasy VII, okay, I get that. That is huge. You slap some Zelda. If they had a new Switch that came out, you and I have talked about this before. If they had a new Switch that came out that was a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 branded Switch, we both would trade our Switches in for it or buy another. But this, I don't know.
Yeah. But they do this. Like they had the Spider-Man one from last year. They had the Black Friday Spider-Man one.
Yeah, but they're Spider-Man fans. Come on.
Yeah, and there's the Star Wars one where that was an awful game. I mean, actually, I've heard it's gotten a lot better. I heard they fixed all the bad things about it, and that it's actually fun to play now.
Yeah.
But then again, that's still a Star Wars branded PlayStation. Like even if you don't like Battlefront at all, it's like I got a Star Wars PlayStation, I got a Spider-Man PlayStation.
Exactly.
There's nothing about those handprints that really is intriguing me. Like I'm surprised that they did something like that. I can't remember. Did they do a God of War PlayStation?
I don't think so.
Because I would have wanted imagine like a cool ice blue PS4 controller for God of War. That would have been dope. But no, like if anything, they should make that controller available, because anything cool like that where it's like a clear like plastic, I love that stuff. Like that age of those N64s where they had the clear N64s with those controllers. Those are awesome.
They had. They did have one. So
controller mistake though. They should have made it blue.
Yeah. But I mean, it exists, so we know it exists.
Okay.
But at the same time, like I said, I don't see the built-in game like they do a Gears of War, Xbox. I get it. People are Gears of War fans.
That carries the system. That's a system seller.
Well, even if they did I know it's not specifically tied to a system, but if they did a Borderlands fill in your blank, Xbox or whatever it is, I get it. New Borderlands 3 special edition, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. There's fan bases. I don't understand having the Death Stranding PS4 Pro bundle. There's probably people out there who are ragging on me.
Collectors,
right now, sure, collectors. But I don't see from a consumer standpoint. I don't see the built-in fan base other than Kojima fans. Which, if you're going to do that, have like Kojima's signature on it, like in red or something.
Yeah.
Like, because otherwise, why buy the game? I mean, that being said, I'm excited to play the game. I'm intrigued by the game. I'm hopeful it's good, but I wouldn't buy this.
Yeah, the only thing that every time I see half of these, like some of them are really cool. The Spider-Man one was great. Yeah, that's probably one of the best looking PlayStation 4s. Is the Spider-Man one. It's those situations where like if your PS4 is dying, like pick up one of these cool special edition ones, because why not? You need a new one anyway. I just the handprint thing. Like there's nothing that really grabs me grabs handprints.
What grabs me? What grabs me is After Party.
This game looks crazy.
Yeah, so I've been intrigued by this game since it first came out, first was announced and everything. And I'm double checking who made this game.
I think it's by the people who did
Oxenfree.
What
is it? Did they do Oxenfree?
Oxenfree, yeah.
That's what I was thinking, because I loved that game. Like. I that is one of the rare times that I finished a game and immediately was like, I want to play this again. I want to see what other things could happen. It's got to be Oxenfree because the text box is there.
Yeah, nice cool studio.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to instant buy this game. This is, essentially you're trying to outsmart the devil. There's apparently some loophole involved, which they didn't really explore too much, but...
of course there is.
There's some loophole to get, of course, so there's some loophole that you may end up being back. So it's two best friends who end up apparently dying like right before they're supposed to graduate. I love it. I love it. I love the art style. I love the branching stories from Oxenfree was amazing. The storytelling that was involved, the non-linear storytelling, and also the game being able to keep up with my branching choices was a beautiful thing. Because you played that one too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love that game.
Obviously, I'm not a huge fan of the premise. Just because I don't like anything that messes with the devil and stuff. Believe it or not believe, it's just I don't like messing with like... we'll call it juju. I just don't like messing with that juju. I'm still going to play this game because they've made it look fun enough and good enough to play.
Yeah.
We'll see how much that subject matter ends up bothering me. It might be so funny because it looks like a very comedic game. It might be so funny that I just don't care.
Yeah.
But generally not my thing. But I love that dev. I loved Oxenfree. Oxenfree is excellent. You can get it for so cheap on like anything, people. So if you haven't played that, I definitely recommend it.
It was like 8 hours, I think. I think I beat it in about 8 hours or something. But you can replay it. There's multiple, different branching paths,
different endings.
Yeah. I think that this game, in a way, I mean, obviously it's different enough, but the idea of showing an underworld, showing hell, showing whatever, but having a lightheartedness to it, it's not the same thing, but reminded me of when I played Grim Fandango for the first time.
Sure.
And you're taking something that is a deep, a spiritual, sad, whatever you want to call it, kind of a situation that would be impactful and negative, and you're lightening it up without, you're kind of taking away some of that the edge, but still able to deal with some of the emotion involved. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So putting like just a cap in this, that was the state of play. Like, so we started with The Last of Us. Last of Us was the last thing they showed after they showed the PS Plus lineup. This is not a good state of play. It's like, if you're going, like, I get it. I know what you were doing, Sony. You were saying, hey, here's The Last of Us Part 2. That's Naughty Dog called us up. They said, hey, Sony, we're going to release this game in February. How's that sound? And we're going to announce it on the 24th. And Sony's like, hey, Naughty Dog, hold on. We got, just, you know, like, let us put together a little something. You know, we know you guys are going to have your event at the same exact time.
Yeah.
So why don't you just give us the trailer? We're just going to take that trailer. We're going to put that online. And we're going to put a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
Like, not all crap. I'm not trying to diss some of these games. I'm actually interested in 3 or 4 of them. But,
well,
what? I don't, like, I don't get it.
Our premieres, our world premieres or premieres, whatever you want to call it, were Humanity. Watam, the one that we mentioned, was the Santa game. And then Arise is a Simple Stories, the Santa game. Those were your like premiere trailers. Everything else other than Last of Us was either something we've seen before or it's just a little bit more what we've seen before.
Yeah.
Call of Duty's arguable. I'm sorry, but like,
no, LA Noire I think already exists on Vive.
LA Noire exists on what?
Vive or Oculus. I think you can already play. I think you can already play LA Noire VR on computer, on PC.
I mean, I bought the game for my Switch, okay? I have it on PS4. I got it on Switch because I wanted to play it on the go. It's hokey, but I love it.
But still, like, putting this in, like, there's nothing wrong with adding some of these in there, but we keep talking, this is now their 3rd state of play. It wasn't terrible, it's just, it wasn't good. Like, it lacked, I don't think that they quite get the Nintendo concept yet. You can throw in those games that nobody cares about, but you can't just have one game that people care about. Last of Us is why everybody was there. That's completely obvious because Naughty Dog announced their tweet first with Jeff Keighley putting that out there that they were going to have their event. We knew that at some point there was going to be a Last of Us trailer. So Sony threw this together. You needed to have you didn't necessarily need to have like what's the game we're waiting on from Sucker Punch?
Ghost of Tsushima? Or no, sorry.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, yeah. You didn't need to necessarily have Ghost of Tsushima, but you need to have something else, like, nice. You need to have something big. You could have even, like, thrown in some Final Fantasy VII. You can't... This is like 10 whatever titles and then one awesome title and then Call of Duty. Again, there's nothing wrong with the Call of Duty update, but... Like, it's just a bunch of mediocre and Last of Us.
That's how I feel too. Even though I did find a game that I'm going to buy that I didn't know about before. So
yeah, I'm going to buy Rise.
Yeah, definitely. Anyways, let us know in the comments what you thought about the PlayStation State of Play. Are you a PlayStation fanboy, fangirl, fan person? Or do you want to hear us shut up and talk more about Xbox and PC gaming master race for the win? Let us know in the comments.
It's not going to happen, but you can let us know.
True. Bye.